this is all you're going to need to put on your Cobrra Nemo 2 chain oiler. 10 millimeter and a 7 millimeter, and then just something to clip your zip ties. When you're done, you'll have zip tie cutoffs, a little bit of tubing. I have actually more than that, and I don't use these little line keepers. I just use the zip ties. The sticky on this works for a little while, but then these rattle off and they just end up dangling around, so I just don't even use them. They're kind of nice, but they just don't stay long enough, and you don't need them when you use the zip ties. Make sure you clean off your swing arm so that it attaches well. This is the Cobrra Nemo 2, I don't know if you can see that. This is what I use on all my chain-driven bikes. And now it's time to put one on here. What I've done is the way it came, this little arm was pointed the other way, so I've moved it to this side and tightened it, and now I'm going to slip it on right there. Before you mount that thing, wherever you're going to mount it, if you're using this short arm here, you may want to put your tubing in first. It's pretty easy to put in, but you have to put it in all the way so that it clicks down. So you'll feel it like enter and then push it all the way till it seats. If you don't think it's right, just pull on it. If it doesn't come out, you're probably good. If you need to take it out, you depress that red thing and you can pull it out. I don't know if you can see the little line on there, but that's about how far it needs to go down. Remove that bolt. It's not necessary to loosen the other one. It will make your whole controls up here a little bit loose, but you'll be able to adjust that when you tighten this back down. So basically you just thread that, pull that bolt out, thread that through there, and then tighten it down. Before you make that last tighten on there, adjust this where you want it. When you fill it, you're going to want it to be as level as possible. Now, that may not be completely possible, but you can get it as close to possible. And then this should be adjusted at that point too, to wherever you like to have it. Get that where you want. But that'll help you get this to level or closer to level. And I think I've got mine pretty well there. Again, what we're going for is in the lowest position, having not touching anything else, like not getting hung up on anything. So on this little monkey, this fits perfect. This is an 8 millimeter, by the way, but this, when it twists up and down, all the way down, it needs to not bump on anything. So make sure you get it positioned correctly. There's often a natural line where you can have this cable run and follow the other cables. So I'm gonna go down around, follow this bunch of cables. In fact, if there are any retaining clips or zip ties, I'm gonna run it through there, go underneath the tank and go back here, and I will take off this box to make sure I don't hit anything, but then I'll end up back here. Here's what I'm talking about. Just finding a line and moving the tubing through there. Running right down here. If it gets snagged, you don't want to pinch this too much, but it's pretty resilient tubing, so no big deal. Pull it through. You do want there to be space, so I'm gonna make sure that there's extra tubing until I'm done. I'm gonna pop this off. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. There we go. I have a helmet lock in there. We actually put them in around that thing and then down the edge, so we can get to them without having to get into there, because it's so many steps to lock your helmet. But anyway, I'll be able to see where I want to run this underneath the tank, and I'm gonna need to find a place to attach it to up here somewhere where it won't get too hot. Staying away from moving parts on this engine. No big deal because most of the heat is down here, but I'm gonna route it up and then come down. I found a little point where there was a hole in this tab on the frame. So I got that going there, behind here. Then there was another hole here through here. So to keep this from flopping around in this area, I've got it pinned against there. Then I'm coming straight in between the chain and along this base here. And then I'm gonna take this and stick that up there and aim the end of the tube over there. Now I've clipped my tube. I don't know if you can see, clipped it with an angle because I actually want it to rub up against this sprocket there, and then the centrifugal force will pull the oil down into the chain. And of course I've done this basically the same way on all my chain driven bikes, and it works great. And I have yet to have any trouble with my tubing. If you route it right, there won't be. I have had these get loose. That's a 7mm bolt, so I tightened that up good, and I always replace anything that is sticky with 3M tape because I just trust it more than the other stuff. The small zip tie that comes with the kit is used to get this tightened in place. So I run it around the top, and I run the line underneath this in there, and then stick it up once against the swing arm once I've got it adjusted the way I want it to. This is what you're looking at. Line resting underneath there pretty tight against the sprocket. It's just gonna hit that chain. It migrates through the chain and does a pretty good job lubricating. Of course, the nice thing is you can control the amount of lubrication, and then you've got it stickered in place, but then I zip tie it also. And now I just need to trim all these and tighten these ones up. I got a couple here for the line, just to make sure there's no way that it can hop down here and get pinched or worn through with this. It's all the way out of the way. And that's it. Done. Got it all cut. It's sitting right where I want it. You're never gonna know it's there until you get up to here. It's gonna be easy to adjust. It looks good on the bike. I mean, these Cobrra Nemos are awesome. We sold 200 of them before we decided to just get done with it. I still highly recommend them. These are gonna be superior to any of the Chinese knockoff ones that look just like these. But they just give you the ability to really take care of your chain, and that's what you want.